Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Melissa. I am a registered dietitian, and here on my channel we talk about all things food and nutrition, except today we're not talking about that today. But we are talking about another aspect of health, which is, you guessed it, mental health. I feel like luckily lately in the last year or two, mental health has become so much more of a priority for a lot of people, and me included. But I know it can still be really hard to make your mental health a priority. So today we're going to talk about a few pretty easy things that I do to deal with anxiety. I do have pretty bad anxiety. I won't go into all of it, but especially social anxiety and, a slew of other things. So I just want to share some of the things that I do to try to lessen my anxiety, make myself feel better when I am feeling anxious, and just take care of my mental health. Obviously, I am not a psychologist, I am not a therapist, so take all this information with a grain of salt. And also, this is not to say that all of this stuff works for everyone and that you shouldn't go see a therapist or be on medication, because that is really good for some people too. So these are just kind of at-home things that kind of help calm me down. Yeah, I think that's all the disclaimers that I have. So let's get started. So the first thing I do to combat my anxiety, if I am feeling anxious or to just kind of relax, is lavender everything. I am a huge proponent of lavender. To me, as soon as I smell it, I'm instantly calm. And I really do believe that it works. Maybe it's just in my head, but I don't think so. So one thing I have for if I'm out and about and feeling anxious is this little roller ball. It's called Calm by, I don't know if it's Remedies to Roll or Sambuca Modern Apothecary. It's from Whole Foods. But it's a lavender, orange, and geranium essential oil roller. And it just, oh, it's so calming. And when I'm feeling anxious, I tend to just put this on my pressure points there and then behind my ears, and it really does work for me. I also have for when I'm going to sleep, and I really feel like I need to have a pretty solid bedtime routine. I mean, I don't have a whole nighttime hour-long routine, but just when I get in bed, I have kind of a routine to really calm me down. And so the first thing I do is I put this sleepy lotion on. I tend to just put it on my arms just because I want it to last longer, but it's from Lush. You've probably heard of it. I feel like there was a moment there where it was really getting some attention, but it's a lavender lotion basically, and it does have lavender oil in it. This is honestly maybe my favorite smell ever. I love it so much, and it just instantly calms me down when I put it on at night, and it just helps kind of ease my mind, bring everything down from the day, and really get ready to go to sleep. It's lavender, but it's got some sweetness to it. Maybe it's the almond oil that's in there, but oh, this stuff is amazing. So if you do kind of find that you have a hard time winding down at night, maybe try doing this, and also kind of coming up with a nighttime routine. The other thing I do is I put a diffuser on next to my bed with lavender oil. And I also put a couple drops of lavender on my pillow. See, a lot of lavender. But this is just some lavender oil I got on Amazon. I'm sure it's probably not the best quality one that you could get. I am very broke, so I just get whatever I can on Amazon. But yeah, so that's kind of how I use lavender to calm me down in a couple different situations. The second thing that I have really utilized and really learned how to do in the last probably 2 years is just breathe. There have been so many times where I am feeling so anxious, anxious to the point of I wish I would just have a panic attack just to get it over with. I'm sure if you have anxiety, you know that feeling, but I've learned how to breathe through it. And I think breathing is so important. And that might sound stupid, but do not underestimate the power of good breathing. So when I'm in a situation and I'm feeling super anxious, I just take a couple really deep breaths, and it's amazing what a difference it makes. It's great if you can kind of get like alone and do that. That's even better. You know, if I'm like in my car about to go into somewhere and I'm feeling really anxious, I can do it there. But it really makes such a huge difference. Just fully breathe through with your whole body, not just like a... So yeah, next time you are feeling really anxious, try to take some really full deep breaths, and I promise it will make the world of difference. Along with breathing is meditation, and this is something I could be better about. The last couple weeks I've been trying to do it 3 times a week, and I've been good at that. But I would love to be able to do it every day. It just doesn't happen. So I know meditation sounds so like out there, I don't know. But it really is helpful, and I do really find that it kind of grounds me and gets me ready for the day. There's an app I have been using. It is called Insight Timer, and I used to use the Headspace one. That was good too if you want like a guided meditation, if that's like 10 minutes or whatever. This one I really like. So this has a ton of guided meditations. It says over 12,000 meditations. But the part that I really like is the timer. So you can go to the timer, and there's this whole page where you can choose what sounds you want, how long you want it. So like the starting bell, which is kind of cool. I have it set on this one. And then you can choose the meditation time. So I've been doing 3 minutes, which it sounds short or it sounds long if you haven't meditated, I don't know. But I find that even just taking 3 minutes is really helpful for me. Or you can also choose like what music, so like, or there's like waterfalls. So I have it set on this one. It's just like a nice, even just hearing that music kind of calms me down. But anyways, so I have really been enjoying this, and I've been trying to do it as often as I can. And I've started, this might sound silly, but I've started kind of creating mantras for myself while I'm meditating. So a lot of times it will just kind of be like, as I breathe in, I'll breathe in positivity, and then exhale negativity, inhale self-confidence, exhale doubt, which sounds kind of silly, but it really has been working for me and kind of started me off on the right foot for my day. I find that I am just generally less anxious on the days when I do that. So the next thing that is super, super important to me personally is finding time to be alone. I am very, very, very introverted, and I feel like people still don't realize what that actually means. I'm not shy. I don't like hate meeting new people or anything like that. But being introverted basically means that your energy is drained from being around people, versus being extroverted, your energy is kind of renewed by being around people. I become incredibly drained being around people, and my anxiety goes up 1,000%. I mean, I have social anxiety to begin with, but even if I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, I still get anxious. And the longer and the more people I'm around, the more it kind of triggers my anxiety. So I have found that finding time to be alone is so, so important. Even if I'm like on a weekend away with people, I try to find even just a few minutes to be by myself in the morning or in the middle of the day or something, because it really, really does kind of renew my energy, give me a minute to breathe and regroup and just kind of calm down a little bit. So I have found that finding time to be by myself really every day, having that time is very, very important for me and my anxiety. So the next thing that I use for when I'm feeling anxious is CBD oil. and I feel like this has like exploded. I feel like it's everywhere. I've seen like drinks with it in it. I think they just opened like a hemp dispensary in Raleigh actually. But I feel like it's kind of everywhere at the moment. But I feel like it has good reason. So I haven't been using this for that long, maybe like 6 months, and I really do feel like it helps me. I think you're supposed to take it a couple times a day, but I don't do that. I really just take it when I'm feeling anxious, and I only take, I don't know if you can see that, maybe that much. It's maybe like 5 drops or something like that under your tongue, and you just hold it there for a minute and then swallow it. And I have found it very, very helpful. It's basically just like a concentrated hemp oil. I feel like people think that it's gonna make you high. It does not make you high. In my experience, it does not make you feel anything, honestly. I especially use this in situations of like social anxiety where I'm feeling really anxious before I leave the house, and I'll take some of this and then I kind of forget about it, and then at the end of the night I'm like, oh wow, I wasn't anxious that entire night. Okay. That happened to me the first time I used this when I was traveling, because I love traveling so much, but I get really bad anxiety about flying. And I took that in the morning, and then we got like halfway through the flight and I was like, wait a minute, I haven't been nervous about this flight at all. And then I started getting worried of like, oh my gosh, why am I not nervous? Like, I don't know. It sounds stupid, but anyway, so that has been very, very helpful for me. And then the final thing, which I know is so much easier said than done, but is to reduce your stress in any way that you can. I find, and I think a lot of people probably find, my anxiety skyrockets when I am stressed out. So finding whatever way works for you to reduce that stress is super helpful. So for me, like making lists so that I can just get everything out of my head, or even like putting things in a calendar so that you can, you know, get organized, set aside time for different things, just so you feel, I know for me, feeling more organized, feeling like I have a plan and I know what's going on, reduces my stress so much. Asking for help is super important too. You know, the people around you, most of them just want you to be happy and just want to help you in any way that they can. So ask for help if you need it. If you're feeling incredibly stressed and incredibly anxious, ask your significant other to do the dishes so that it's one less thing you have to worry about. If you're going into a social situation that you're really anxious about, ask your friend that you're going with to just kind of hang around with you for most of the time until you feel comfortable. You know, asking for help in any way that you can. And also talking to people and letting them know that you're feeling anxious or stressed can automatically relieve a lot of stress. You know, a lot of times if I'm feeling really anxious and I say it out loud, it kind of helps me realize like, oh, that's what's happening. I'm just experiencing anxiety right now. And that kind of automatically brings it down a notch. Any of those things, or even if it's something else that helps you to relieve your stress, for me anyways, kind of automatically reduces the anxiety a little bit. All right, well, those were 5 different things that I use to help reduce my anxiety. I feel like I blabbered on for a long time there, but I hope this was helpful to some of you. I know so many of us these days experience anxiety with everything going on in the world and this fast-paced lifestyle we're living these days. So I hope that this was helpful and maybe gave you some ideas of how to help yourself in that situation. Again, these solutions do not work for everyone, and I would highly recommend going to see a therapist. And for some people, medication is the answer as well. So if this stuff doesn't work for you, it's okay. There are other things to try as well. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below so we can all read them. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you have not already. And thank you for watching. I will see you next week. Bye.